The crazy weather's coming in. It's a crazy afternoon. Wanted to get this running before it snows. We're expecting about 5 inches tomorrow all through the weekend, so it's going to be maybe finally some snow here on the valley. And I just got these shoes from Merrell. These shoes are the Long Sky model that will come out of spring 2020, and I wanted to give them this kind of a rundown before the snow sticks. So hopefully I can get in a couple more bigger days than this and test them out. But ultimately, right out of the gate, they're an amazing shoe, and I'm really impressed with what Merrell's doing and what you'll see Merrell do for next year. So stay tuned on all that. It's good stuff. Right now, out of the gate, I would say if I was going to start training for 100K or more in distance, these would be my shoes of choice right now after one run for my long training. They're segmented for a long mountain running shoe, so long days in the alpine, and they feel amazing so far. So I would liken them, again, this is my first run in them, I'd really liken them to the Salomon Ultra, if you're familiar with that shoe. Real similar ride, real similar fit, but I'd actually say even more flexible and more comfortable. So anyways, moving on to the point of the day. My last video, I talked about how I was traveling down to Salt Lake City to see Christopher McDougall's book event. It's great, by the way. Pick up Running with Sherman, you'll love it. It's another new great story by Chris, and will be in a movie. It actually got picked up by Netflix, so look for that. But anyways, I commented how I fast, and I had a question on that previous video on how often I fast. So I'm gonna spend time with this video only focusing on how often and how I fast. I will get into more about the whys, which is much longer, purposeful answer than the how. So here's how often I fast. There's kind of 3 scenarios I look at. One, I will typically, in general, fast 16 hours on a day that I'm running short and easy, or early season when I'm running easy and longer. So the intensity of that run is very easy, what you would consider fat burning, or your easy base building miles, or recovery run, or just your easy moderately length run you're doing throughout the week to get your weekly volume in. On those days when the intensity is low, I am typically fasting for 16 hours. So that means I take my last meal the night before and go 16 hours before eating again the next day. And that run is usually done in the morning. I'm a morning runner. So typically for me, I have the luxury of being able to run kind of not early morning, but usually about 9 o'clock. So that's usually my run time. Second scenario is when I am in the meat of the season and I'm doing hard, fast track workouts, hard long days, hard tempo days, anything that would be considered something of intensity based on the speed or the effort. I am feasting. So I will normally have a pre-run meal before that run, or a pre-snack depending on the length of that run. But on these hard, intense days, I am not fasting, I am feasting. The third scenario is when I have a day like 2 days ago on my last video, where I mentioned I'm going to be spending a lot of the time of the day in a car traveling, or if I'm going to a speaking event, traveling overseas, anytime where there's a long period of time where I'm going to be traveling and maybe not running, or the running I do is very minimal at best, I will fast for 20 hours plus. So in these types of situations, I've gone on the minimum side of 20-hour fasts, and on a maximum side about 48 hours of fasting. And again, that'll fluctuate, and I just kind of intuitively look ahead to where I might be traveling and say, okay, this is a good time where I can really take advantage of a time to fast and not eat airplane food, or not have to rely on maybe not so great food. So it's just my time where I'm completely doing a long-term fast. So that's my 3 kind of general scenarios where I look to fast or not. Again, this is just answering the question of how often I fast. So getting to answer that question, throughout a normal week, I may be fasting between 2 to 3 days throughout that week. If I'm in the base building phase where again the intensity is low, I might be doing 4 or 5 days. So again, it fluctuates. So there you have it. Great question. Just wanted to answer that and get that out there, maybe for more conversations, more questions. And I'll be doing a lot more on this as I continue to learn more of how we integrate and mesh fasting for performance enhancement and health, but also how we mesh that with performance training and getting the benefit out of our performance. Because if you try to fast during high intensity, you're going to lose power. That I do know. So, all right, over and out. That's what I got for you. Sun's coming out, but you can see the storm coming in. Should be an interesting weekend. So stay tuned and I'll see you next time.